more secure and richer sure doesn't seem to be in violation of the Logan Act. The last time I checked, America was in no disputes with any foreign government about what those foreign governments could do to make Americans all richer. After this, Jones moves on to his current scare project, the North American Union. Jones claims the North American Union was born after a meeting between Bush and the leaders of Canada and Mexico at Baylor University. Baylor University is a rather high-profile Baptist university. Now, Jones touts his Christian beliefs at times in Endgame, so it's odd that a major Baptist institution would be playing host to the New World Order. The North American Union, Jones claims, is about a merger with no input from the people. Now, unless the political systems in the USA and Canada have radically changed in about the last 5 minutes, it seems to me treaties need to be ratified by the legislatures. And if you recall, NAFTA was a significant part of the 1992 election debate. These things would not escape the voting public. Jones then whips up some anti-foreigner sentiment by claiming non-citizens are being recruited by the army and police force to suppress American citizens. Now, it's technically true non-citizens can join the army and probably many police forces, but these aren't exactly foreigners shipped in to crush dissent. These are called green card holders. You don't get an American green card unless you've lived a good hunk of your life in America. Seems to me a lot of non-citizens have given their life in Iraq and Afghanistan. Geez, thanks, Joan, for slagging their sacrifice. So, what the hell is the North American Union? Well, more accurately, it's the Independent Task Force on North America, a think project by business leaders in Canada, the USA, and Mexico to build on NAFTA and move towards a European Union. Jones finds private citizens planning these kinds of things uber scary and anti-democratic. However, he fails to realize a lot of the laws passed by Congress are cooked up by private groups. Someone has to come up with the idea for a law. Lawmakers aren't actually the ones sitting around going, hey, what new laws can we write? Private interests even supply the congressmen they want to introduce the bill with sample legislation that may well form the basis for actual law. Do a Google search sometime on sample legislation and check out what groups are writing what potential laws. And yeah, you and I are not invited to the Hog Farmers of America meetings where they're trying to cook up a new law that might loosen regulation on pig slaughtering or whatever. So, crap, sorry that people who cross borders a lot and like to do business across borders more or less see those borders as impediments to their business and their lives. Within the context of the North American Union is a Canadian-American-Mexican proposal called the Security and Prosperity Partnership of North America, or SPP. The plan was launched by Bush, Paul Martin, and Vicente Fox in 2005. Jones and his followers seem to make a big thing about this plan being hatched in secret, and when smoked out, they have some show summit in 2007. Now, oddly enough, this plan is so secret, the White House has press releases about it from 2005, and the SPP has its own website that's been in existence since 2005. Of course, one might claim they simply created the page in 2007 and backdated everything. But then if you do a search on the URL in the Wayback Machine, one not unsurprisingly finds the page was archived by the Wayback Machine in 2005. Anyway, it's all a little disingenuous when conspiracy nuts claim that things being done in public are more proof of the secretive nature. It's so secret they need to have some public cover story. So, according to Jones, the North American Union is going to result in a flood of foreign goods into the USA. Oh, like that's not happening now? And wait, those goods are going to be Mexican and Canadian. When Jones was up in Canada trying to convince Canadians they were going to lose their sovereignty, was he also warning them this nefarious plan would result in a huge surge of Canadian exports to the USA? No, he kind of kept that secret from them. And how all these foreign goods flow into the USA? Well, it's via something called the NAFTA Superhighway Control Grid. Well, that's what Jones calls it. It's a plan for a truck toll road that will go from Mexico through the center of the USA, hooking up through Detroit, and then feed into Canada's 401 highway via Windsor, Ontario, which happens to be the hometown of yours truly. Go Windsor Horned Warriors, the blue and teal forever! Sorry. Anyway, we all like roads. Nothing much wrong with that. And if it will keep truck traffic off the highway we use, hey, even better. Jones, however, needs to make it sound more ominous. See, it's a toll road. They'll photograph your license plate. Big brother. The government will track you. Geez, Doesn't Jones use a cell phone? Aren't we tracked a dozen different ways already and don't give it a single thought? Cell phone use, ATM use, using Easy Pass type cards for toll roads or the subway, using our credit cards, using point cards for groceries. Hello? Guess what? In modern society, you give up little slices of privacy for convenience. You don't like it? Just pay cash for everything. Stay off the toll roads. Also, to make the superhighway idea more scary, we're told a Spanish company has won the contract to run it. And this is a problem how? The lowest bidder is a European company, familiar with the language of the workers who are going to end up pouring the asphalt. Jones also rambles about something called the Kansas City Inland Port, where, in over-the-top language, Jones claims Asian cargo is dumped on American shores and travels to a logistics center in Kansas City. This port is, according to Jones, sovereign soil of Mexico. Jeez, really? Well, no. The port has a Mexican customs facility staffed by Mexican customs officials who pre-clear American cargo bound for Mexico. Anyone who's ever flown from Toronto to the USA would recognize the utility here. Toronto's Pearson Airport has American customs right in the Canadian airport. You're pre-cleared in Toronto and don't have to pass through customs at your American destination. Saves getting to, say, Dallas and finding you can't enter the USA to conduct business at a client site. Jones also repeats an often told legend that the American interstate highway system was, to use Jones's words again, designed by Pentagon war planners. Now, Eisenhower supported the creation of the highway system, partly out of his frustration as a soldier at the beginning of his career, trying to get across America in an army truck. But the whole system was a massive partnership between the federal government and the state governments. It was hardly the product of the Pentagon. As in the Logan Act, Jones also seems to invent whole new passages and laws. Jones claims Section 802 of H.R. 3162, aka the Patriot Act, defines misdemeanors as terrorism. Well, no, the section reads, the term domestic terrorism means activities that a. involve acts dangerous to human life that are in violation of criminal laws of the United States or any state. B. appear to be intended 1. to intimidate or coerce a civilian population. 2. to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion. Or 3. to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping. And C. occur primarily within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States. Now what's important here is to be a domestic terrorist, you have to violate A, B, and C. If you just violate A, that is an act dangerous to human life, that's not domestic terrorism. You need the B component, the intimidation, the mass destruction, the kidnapping, the assassination. All right? At about the 79-minute mark, we're told the regular army was searching people at the 2006 Super Bowl. However, the article Jones shows in Endgame clearly indicates it was the National Guard. That's not quite the regular army now, is it? The National Guard can certainly be called in by a state government to assist in security. During a disaster, the National Guard sure seems to provide police-like duties. Is that scary? Jones turns his eye to China and notes China is a globalist laboratory. For example, the CIA backed Mao during World War II. The CIA didn't actually exist in World War II. That's one problem with that claim. And surely during World War II, the intelligence services would back anyone opposing Japan. Hello, they supplied the Soviets against the Germans. We're also told China's one-child policy was adopted after lobbying by a consortium of eugenics organizations like Planned Parenthood. Geez, really? Planned Parenthood? Jones, could you, footnote that or something? Seems really hard to imagine the Chinese just letting some unshaven hippie women walk in teaching them about how to abort babies. And as a eugenics policy, it sure seems kind of, not very eugenicsy. It's only about having one child, nothing about the fitness of that child. Eugenics is about trying to improve the genetic stock. Now, I'm not arguing that's a good thing, morally. I'm just saying that's what eugenics is about. I'm not sure how simply allowing only one child is some kind of eugenics initiative. Of course, if Jones is getting into eugenics, faster than you can say gene duplication, Jones is going to take a swipe at evolution. He doesn't fail to disappoint.